Well, today's the day. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to put the whole exhaust side, to include turbo and downpipe, back on Skyla. And we also got the new manifold in with all the Tomei gaskets. So let me show you guys that really quick, and then let's get rolling on this manifold. Now, if you guys have watched some of my previous videos, you'll know that I bought this Tomei exhaust gasket for the car already, but we were waiting on the manifold. This is by OBX, and it's supposed to be a replacement for your stock manifold, the cast iron one that comes in the Skylines. They're okay, but they're super heavy, and I really wanted a tubular manifold also for the looks and for the performance, etc., etc. You know, it's just a better manifold all the way around. Like I said, this one's made by OBX. It's their R-Line series, and I have to say, it is nice. The only complaint I say I'd have is the the studs here that are supposed to go here are not the same that go into the exhaust. They're actually US standard. They're 3/16 compared to the ones that actually go into the block are M10 by 125s. So enough with the chit chat. Let's start installing this bad girl. And now I can start to put everything back on. Alright, as you can see, the stock manifold is now on. All we have to do is pretty much tighten it down. For anything that comes to car related, when it comes to tightening down several bolts, typically what I like to do is I like to start in the middle and I do cross patterns. So let's say I tighten this top one, then I'm going to go over to the other middle side and tighten the bottom one. And I'm just going to kind of do like a big cross pattern. That way we evenly put the manifold on so that one side doesn't have some kind of gap in it because it's leveraged a certain way. So let me tighten these down, and then we're going to slap the turbo on. Alright, everything's now tightened down, and then what I did was I put a green towel right here and covered up the valve cover. That way when we're working it in and out with the turbo and putting everything else on, I'm not damaging the new freshly painted valve covers. So let's grab the turbo and then let's start. Alright guys, well I went inside, took some lunch, and then turned around and now came back out here. Red lock tightened all these down and torqued them down, so we're good to go. So I have to say, with the Tomei downpipe on there now and the freaking valve covers with it, hang on, let's take the valve covers off really quick and just look and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that looks so good, so mean. Now that turbo's back on, we've got that Mamba wastegate actuator on the Tomei downpipe, just to complement the whole valve cover and the way it looks with the Tomei sticker. Oh, it's just coming together real nice, guys. Really nice. So all I'm going to do now, kind of boring, I'm going to hook up all the oil lines and coolant lines, and then I'll bring you guys back into the shot and show you everything that's done. Alright guys, so now the turbo is bolted up correctly, has all the oil lines and coolant lines hooked up. The only thing I have to do is put my oil return line back on and clamp it down. But other than that, it's cleaning up quite nicely. So let's continue to put the rest of the turbo side back on, minus the intercooler, and I'll show you guys the final result. All right, guys, I know I said I was going to put the front mount intercooler back on with the intercooler piping, but I thought I'd take some time to put the intake back on. Since we have to run the cast iron manifold, since the other one did not fit, I thought it'd just be easier for me to run the stock manifold as well. We should easily be able to push 400 out of this, and that's really all I want to do for circuit racing and mountain passes. So now all we're going to do is pretty much mount it up where we had it last time, where I pretty much took these 2 bolts out and then I mounted straight up to the bracket. I think that was the best location for it, and I think it looked the nicest there. So alright guys, and just like that, front mount intercooler is mounted back on. Now we're going to look at the piping and see how we want to route it. The last time I had it routed, I wasn't very confident in it, so I want to see if we can try to reroute this to make it a little cleaner of a look. So I hooked up the inlet pipe for the turbo with the MAF and the actual air filter. I also bunged this off because we're running a blow-off valve up top, and I put a kind of like a PVC valve, but it doesn't have the little bearing in it to open or close it. It's just kind of like a straight pipe that's going to run from here up to here. That way we get a little bit cleaner look. I want to try to get the Tomei because this actually used to go there, and it was very big and ugly, and it'd get like right in the way of everything. And we're trying to make this look as RB-ish, I guess, if you want to call it that. So I just kind of fabricated something small like that up. Other than that, I did make some new lines over here, like this one and this one, because they're dry rotting, similar to this. So I've got to get some more piping and put a new line on there and a new line back here. So, but other than that, I'm going to actually put a little bit more oil in this car because it's a little low. Make sure everything's hooked up, and then I'm probably going to crank it over and just hear it. It is on an open dump pipe, so it's going to be very loud. But that being said, I just want to crank it over and make sure everything's, you know, starting and running correctly. All right, guys, so I made sure all the oil lines were correct. I also clamped down the oil return line. That way we didn't have any oil spewing. I've checked the downpipe, make sure everything was tight. Put some oil in it. The only thing that is not connected is going to be this hose that's going to go to the inlet, which I do have to put that pipe on really quick. Put that on real quick, but that's the only hose that's not going to be connected. As long as it can breathe air, then we're good to go. It typically just runs down from here to the inlet anyways. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to put that on, and then we're going to try to start this bad girl up, see how she sounds, see if there's any weird noises. So, all right. Fuel pump is priming. Make sure it's not in gear because it is still up on a jack. Well, it starts. So it's most likely sucking in a bunch of air here, and that's why you hear it struggling. Obviously the intercooler is not hooked up, so it's just dumping as much air as it possibly can into it. I'm gonna re-look at it again and see, but I don't want to continue to run this car with 550cc injectors, or I'm sorry, 850cc injectors in the without an actual tune on it. So, but yeah, at least she starts up like a dream. As you can see, like I said earlier, front mount intercooler is installed. We're just trying to get all the piping correct. The way that I'm running this piping now, I feel a lot more comfortable. Everything seems a lot more solid. This silicone hose is actually going to change to a smaller one because I've got this ungodful gap. But other than that, this one's in there pretty solid, not going to move. And then I've got to clamp everything down. I'm going to do a boost leak down test. We're going to try to turn it over, see if I hear anything weird. If not, I think she's good to go besides a tune, and then getting my mid-pipe to down-pipe custom made. So I'm really happy with how this is turning out so far, and hopefully we'll be back on the road very shortly.